Hey people, how's it going? So just a follow-up video to that. So I am actually like a pretty good medium in that I can bring through loved ones and know they are actually loved ones, and they speak to me in their real voice that they have in their life before they were deceased. Like my grandpa, he speaks to me in his authentic voice. So he's been coming through a lot more now and giving me wisdom and just with support and just being there basically. He calls me Ben. He doesn't call me a lot of the names that the other people call me because he actually does have more respect for me. His mother, Gio Kamina, actually was the first that I know of, the first spirit person that came through to help me when I was living at in Adelaide. I'll tell you a story. Other people were with me everywhere I went without me knowing it for quite some time. Like at Lifestyle Bakery when I was wrapping pallets, I heard people just behind the wall on what they called the dough line. For those who work there, they will know that make bread. It's a gluten-free bread bakery, but I heard there was other people, but they were speaking in the staff members' voices, but they were actually spirit people. And then I'd go home and it'd be different spirit people, and they were pretending to be the neighbours. I'd go to uni and I'd sit in the car park, like the multi-story car park in the car, and I could hear people on the ground level on the street yelling things out about my life, but that was spirit people. And I'd be on the phone to my dad and I'd be talking about it, and he'd be like, "Oh, that can't be possible, Ben," and it didn't really seem rational. And I actually then it just got more pronounced. Like at uni, I'd hear spirit people actually talking about the work I was doing on my laptop. And they were like, "Oh, there's speakers all over Adelaide, like all through the streets, and that's why you can hear us." And then they'd be like, then what happened is I'd be looking at items in my room, and they'd be like, I'd look at potting mix, and they'd say the words potting mix, and then I'd look up at like a watering can, and they'd say the words watering can, and then I'd look. This is how a beginner psychic starts. I'd look at a wine bottle, and they'd say wine. I'd look at the minute words on it with my eyes. And they would say exactly what I was focusing on with my eyes, right? So, so yeah, that's how it started. And then they were like, "Oh," I said, "How?" I said, "What? This is insane." And I was like looking at the ceiling trying to find cameras. I thought there must have been a camera in my room because often they'd talk in my landlord's voice or my housemate's voice. And they did that for probably a year up until the time I learned I was psychic. In their exact voices, right? So I thought it was all people that were reading Facebook, what was going on in my personal life, that knew everything about me. And that's how they tricked me. That's how they made me believe that it was basically neighbours or housemates saying stuff when it was actually spirit people. So that's how it began. And then I was like, well, how does this happen? And I was like, did I get abducted by an alien? And did they imprint like a camera in my eye? Or did they... Like, how do you know what I'm looking at? How are you reading out the words? And they were like, yes, you did get abducted by an alien. And they put an eyelash camera. You've got an eyelash camera. Who knows? An eyelash could have fallen off and the camera could have fallen off. I don't know, but that's what they told me. And you've got a microphone imprinted in your fingernail. And what was really weird was I was at uni and I went to the toilet, and I actually took out a note in my pocket, and I was writing something on the note, and I heard those words repeated in my ear, like exactly what I was writing on the note. I was like, what? Is there a camera on like my jumper or something? Like how does this work? How am I hearing that? That's just bizarre. And that's how they started making me more sensitive to psychic, because if they revealed it all at once, obviously I would have gotten too freaked out. So I've always been a private person, so it would have just completely obliterated me basically. So that's how they got me used to mediumship. And then they started revealing themselves over time, first as family members, and then they just progressively, I suppose, got more and more honest. Especially as I've been opening up in videos and so on and so forth. It's actually very healthy to be expressive. Souls aren't supposed to be not expressive. That actually does cause lower states of existence. So I actually believe that for every person, even though we're all different as people, I don't like to whitewash anything or say there's one size fits all, but it's actually, a soul is designed to be expressed in whatever way you think that should be. because that's why we exist. That's why we have a soul. A soul is energy, and energy moves. It's as simple as that. So that's my proof, in inverted commas, if you want proof, of what I believe. So take it as you will, form your own conclusions. Debating is good. You don't have to believe everything I say, but just I would advise just to learn if you're interested. If you're not interested, learn something else or spend your time doing something else. But people is one thing that spirit people do preach quite a bit. So yeah, that's a common theme, obviously, in my videos. So I'll leave it there. Happy days and goodbye.